So it goes without saying that one of the big things that the Vancouver Canucks are focusing on this season is leadership. You have Henrik and Daniel Sedin as the new co-presidents of hockey operations. Two guys that love what they do. And two guys that absolutely are well equipped to put public-facing Vancouver Canucks representation back in a positive light. You have Ryan Johnson as the new GM, another guy who just knows what he needs to do, what he needs to say, the right things to do and say, and everything in between, to instill confidence in this team that the Canucks are going forward in a positive direction, and that they are taking the necessary steps involved. No shortcuts. You gotta go slow to go fast. And with the cultivation of a positive environment from the coaching staff over to the players, there is one name that I do feel like we need to talk about more than all the others, because his role should be seen as one of the biggest leaders on the team, but I question if that's what we're really going to get. Today we're talking about Elias Pettersson, the top paid player on the Vancouver Canucks, a team that has really pushed themselves towards acquiring good personalities and good dudes through the acquisitions of names like Luke Shen, Brendan Gallagher, Jamie Alexiak. You talk about the focus of top-tier guys like Tom Willander and Zeev Buium, young guys but confident and positive guys. These are all great names to have in the locker room when building a long-term envisioned Canucks team. And Elias Pettersson is going to be a part of that. At least, right now it seems like he will be. But I wanted to talk about Petey and his personality, his role in all of this leadership talk, because it is true that Pettersson is more of a different person, it seems, nowadays compared to the earlier parts of his career. When Pettersson came to Vancouver, there was a bit of a swagger to the way that he talked to the media, and especially in the way that he played the game. He had the death stare going on, and he made some snarky comments here and there. But over the past few years, it feels like Pettersson has definitely changed to a more stoned... Okay, that's the wrong word to use. I was going to say stonewalled. Stonewalled, yeah, refusal to communicate, cooperate, or engage in discussion. He has seemed a little bit more stonewalled over the years, a little more reserved, and just more in his head. Whether or not that's a good or a bad thing is aside the point, but it is something that we have noticed. And it's why, when you talk about the future of the Canucks, from guys like Braden Coots to heck, even Caleb Malhotra, I think there is a really big conversation that should be had about Elias Pettersson's role in cultivating the younger centers into the NHL long term, and just what he's capable of in that role. Here's a post that was made by Earth of the Vinyl on the Our Canucks subreddit from a few days ago that got a number of upvotes and a number of comments. Take a look at this Elias Pettersson rant. Everyone at some point dreamed that EP40 could be sent away after the few disappointing seasons he has had. I don't think what gets appreciated enough is his commitment to the defensive play and contributions to the game away from the puck. Yes, his AAV was one of an elite first-line point-producing team-saving center, and no, he hasn't lived up to that expectation. I have seen mock trades that have him move for as low as a bag of pucks to as high as what the Canucks got for Quinn Hughes. I have sat and watched a game and pleaded with the hockey gods to somehow get him off our team. But now? I don't know if I think that anymore. I don't think we should move off of Elias Pettersson right now. Here's why. 1. His AAV is one of the only things holding us above the cap floor, and if he was gone, the Canucks would have to make some insufferable overpayments to mediocre players in that time between needing to sign their young studs and now. Right now, Pettersson is a serviceable cap holder. Number 2. After hearing that Caleb Malhotra has been compared to Patrice Bergeron in terms of his two-way game and responsibility in his own end, while being able to put up points on the other side, Pettersson's defensive game is now his strong point, and maybe should add a few more Selke votes. A mentorship role could be very valuable between those two guys. And no, just because Pettersson would be doing the mentoring, it doesn't mean that Malhotra would turn into Pettersson. That's just some low-hanging fruit there. Mentorship abilities. And number 3, There's the potential for a reclamation project and future trade value. As the cap goes up, Pettersson's contract value goes down by a percentage of cap hit. In a few years, his contract won't be out of the realm of that meager second or third line center anyway. It'll be far more appealing of a cap hit, and the longer he stays in Vancouver, the longer he has to find that explosive dynamite game that we know he is capable of. I think that the value for him sticking around for a couple of years as a mentor, holding the Canucks cap together, and with the chance that he could maybe rediscover his form, is a reason to keep him around and see what he can do. Especially now, since the pressure for him to be that number one 100-point player isn't really what fans expect from him anymore. Rant over. Thanks for reading. So, I get what this commenter is saying, essentially saying that there's a lot of value in what Pettersson's contract could provide long-term as the cap goes up, and if you believe that this guy can actually bounce back, why not believe in the projection of Elias Pettersson actually scoring more points in the long term, and also potentially stepping in and being a mentorship figure for another defensively minded center like Caleb Malhotra? Well, some of the comments go out there and respond, I don't think Petey has it in him to be a mentor. He's a super shy guy who doesn't talk to anybody. It's crazy because this guy doesn't seem like the shy, introverted type. And linked is an image of Elias Pettersson winning the Golden Helmet Award back for the Swedish playoffs in 2017-18. This is when Pettersson was at his most exciting as a hockey prospect, the best hockey player outside the NHL, despite the fact that he was only 18. Pettersson put up a season in Sweden that was better than the Sedins, that was better than Forsberg, that was better than, who else was in there? Philip Forsberg, not just Peter. There were a number of guys that Elias Pettersson outscored in Sweden as an 18-year-old in that SHL campaign. He just didn't beat Kent Nilsson, did he not? I'm not sure. It was a while ago. But either way, Elias Pettersson had swagger and confidence back then. Didn't seem like the shy, introverted type in that time space, but hey, now, things are different. Monkey says his passion for that just isn't there anymore. His priorities have shifted to his home life. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It is 100% admirable to be committed more so to your personal life than your professional life, but you have to understand the expectations that come with either. And Elias Pettersson has failed to live up to those expectations from a professional standpoint. Another reply says if Pettersson wants to be a mentor, he has to grow up. He needs to be the first guy doing things and the last to go home. He needs to show up in shape with a desire to be even better and do what it takes to make it happen. He needs to demonstrate a positive attitude when he makes a mistake and show he can get past it by doing and being better. When he joined the team as a potentially elite player with attitude, it was something to respect. Unfortunately, it turns out the sneers, side remarks, and attitude were just signs of his entitlement and immaturity. I haven't seen much of an improvement over the years, and neither have people in management. Caleb is currently demonstrating more maturity than Elias. I'm tired of the excuses, copium, and whatever else is saying that tries to defend the guy who simply doesn't have the capacity to appreciate what he has, and to demonstrate some graciousness and maturity in his attitude and actions. Another reply says that's precisely why he needs to be gone ASAP. You can't have someone with his attitude in AAV and expect a healthy culture to emerge. If a front office led by the Sedins is trying to actively move him, that's good enough for me. It would have been so easy for the Sedins to go to bat for Pettersson if they still had full confidence in him. When two Hall of Famers and fellow countrymen who became who they are through pure work ethic aren't doing that, it's not hard to read between the lines there. So, could Elias Pettersson one day be a mentor for a guy like Caleb Malhotra? Is that fire still inside of him that burns bright and pushes him to be the best version of himself? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.